Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Leah Ray, and you're tuned in to Leah Ray's Way. Get out the way. I wanted to come on here and wrap up WAGs to Witches. I know I'm so late, but allow me to explain. After I made the last episode, I went ahead and binged the rest of the episodes, and then I was gonna do the review that weekend, but I started feeling real bad. Make a long story short, I caught the flu. It had me down for like a strong 8 days, and then getting over that and still kind of having a cough and everything. I don't know if you've ever had the flu before, but it is brutal. Okay, so I couldn't do anything. That threw the whole timeline off by like 2 weeks. So here I am now, but it's just, I needed to finish it. Okay, so I know you already seen it. Y'all already probably binged it that first weekend that it came out, but I'm gonna wrap it up and close out that review because what I need to get to is The Bachelor. For the first time ever, I'm watching The Bachelor and I'm locked in. So I gotta bring those reviews to you. But like I said, let's go ahead and wrap up this snooze fest. Okay, so I left off on WAGs to Riches episode 4. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you the recap and the review for episodes 5 through 8, and then we're gonna be done. Because if they never came out with another season, I would be just fine with that. So let's start with episode 5. I'm not gonna talk about everything that happened in the episode because I feel like that they drugged this season out and they really didn't have a legit storyline. Anyway, episode 5, Sherelle's having a conversation with MJ. And again, MJ's getting a pass for her fighting and just acting out. And I understand that the girl is 23 years old. Trust me, I do. However, you're putting her down with your business because it's always about Sherelle's reputation. It's always about, oh, because we're making big moves and we're in these circles with these type of people, so we can't be around like ghetto stuff. We can't be around ratchet stuff. Well, what is fighting the girl that your dude is messing with? What is that? Is that not ghetto? Is that not ratchet? Listen, MJ cool. She really is, but if we had to categorize actions, I would say fighting your dude's side chick is the epitome of ghetto, but she gets a pass. And Sherelle is allegedly, because I didn't look up if MJ was really in business with her or whatever the case may be, but she's, for the sake of the episodes, really in business with MJ. So it all comes back to, what is your problem with Stoney? If Stoney acts a certain way, if you think Stoney is ghetto and all this kind of stuff, then what is MJ and you literally have her at business meetings with you, meeting with these investors? Make it make sense. If you're acting ghetto and ratchet and we're in business together, we're no longer in business. I don't care if you're 43, 53, or 23. You get what I'm saying? So if Sherelle is so professional and so about making money and so about having this reputation that she don't really deal with these kind of things, why are you putting up with it for MJ? If not for the fact that she wants to keep MJ on the roster because that's her connect to Kodak. I don't really know who Sherelle knows out here in these streets. I know she's connected to Ocho Cinco. Well, okay. I know they broke up, all right? But what I'm saying, at the time that this show was made, I know she was connected to Ocho Cinco. So that was an in for her as far as a different type of clientele, right? So if she could just hang on to MJ, that might be her into the rap world. I don't know. This is just what I'm deducing, because why else keep MJ on her Allure roster? Or why try to even put her or get her down with her Allure roster if she was doing these type of things that was landing her getting arrested and stuff like that, or detained? You gotta make it make sense to me. The math is not mathing on that. All right, the next big thing about this episode was the lawyer meetup. We have Sherelle's lawyer, Meg, and Ocho's lawyer, I think his name was Laz, and they were meeting up at the house to have like a dinner discussion. And basically, Sherelle was talking about she wanted like contracted alimony, which I'm assuming that she wanted this money like while they were still married. I was confused because it was something like $3 million a year on their wedding anniversary. But then Chad was saying, or Chad's side was saying, like, how about let's drop that down to 15K? I don't think Chad was feeling alimony anyway, but I didn't understand that. Like, I understand stuff, but how you getting alimony and y'all still married? I just don't understand. I could more so understand if one of the parties was coming in with significantly less money. If I, as a teacher in Alabama, started dating Chad Ocho Cinco, then yeah, you're gonna have to give me some money per month, because I'm not gonna recover the way Sherelle is, because if I'm dating probably Chad Ochocinco and I'm a teacher, I'm probably not a teacher anymore, okay? Because I'm probably out there wherever he is. I basically have nothing comparatively, so I'm gonna need an allowance or something, right? I'm not gonna call it contractual alimony. I don't know, that just sounds weird to me. I know that's law terms and everything like that, but I'm gonna need contractual allowance, okay? That maybe I don't even touch while we're together. Maybe it just goes in a bank account, so that in the event that we do break up, which in their case they did, that I will have a way to get back on my feet, being that I came in with significantly less than he did. Now that I could maybe get behind, but at the same time, I'm trying to figure out why Sherelle is trying to get Chad's bag, because she said she had a bag before she even met him. So if you had the bag, why you worried about his bag so much? Because it went on to say that she wanted a piece of his podcast. And he was like, absolutely not. You didn't help me build the podcast. Absolutely no. But then she was like, but I supported you, but I like came on the podcast. Just because you're a guest on somebody's podcast doesn't mean that you get a piece of the podcast. I'm not feeling her as far as that. I do not believe that she did anything to help build that podcast. It must be doing well for him. It must be making him some significant coin for it to be on the table. Him being with her didn't help that podcast. Chad is very much built and made himself. You get what I'm saying? From his sports and all that. His status alone built his podcast as far as I'm concerned. She didn't really have nothing to do with it, because who are you? He's the big name. I'm sorry, I know she get her bag and I know she might be big in Miami streets, but I didn't know nothing about her until Chad. Chad was a celebrity to me. So how did you help his podcast? However, we know exactly how he helped your real estate business, because even though in this episode, when Chad and his lawyer countered with, okay, if you want a piece of the podcast and I want a piece of your realty, Allure Realty Company, then she got the cussing, right? But Sherelle's not ghetto, right? She don't like ghetto, she don't like ratchet. But when he said that, all the cuss words and the F words, all that came out, right? Now, why would it come out then? Because Sherelle, out of her own mouth, said that she would have never had the connection she had in the real estate game had it have not been for her relationship with Ochocinco. So it sounds like to me that he helped build your business. He helped take your business to the next level. I mean, this is out of the horse's mouth. But then when we're talking about it with the lawyers, you talking about you basically did it on your own. You got it out the mud. Okay, you started it, but it didn't go to the next level till you got with Chad. Per Sherelle, you feel me? So it seems like maybe Chad deserves a piece of her pie. I digress. Anyway, the meeting didn't go well, okay? She also wanted a infidelity clause in there. Chad was not with it. Why? Because Chad be cheating, okay? So he's not gonna set himself up for failure. Anyway, that's where the episode basically cut off with that, and we're moving on to episode 6. So in episode 6, Ashley is having a charity event, and I think it's like an Alexander Wayne charity event, and Jules shows up, and she's getting confronted by all the girls, and this is my issue with this. She gets confronted by a whole group of gaggling geeses, and they think that she's supposed to sit there and take it. I don't care where we are. Like, you're not about to attack me. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not going to handle it like Jules handled it, but she sat there and she wanted to defend herself, and it just did not go well, because at the end of the day, they still flipped it on her, as if how she's talking and, you know, how she's feeling and she's getting upset, like, oh, it's not the time or the place. Really, it wasn't the time or the place for y'all to confront her, but you did, and then you want to flip the script when she defends herself. I'm so confused by that. You expect a hit dog not to holler? What part? Make it make sense. And then in the commentary, Alexis called her white, or if it was like some commentary, or maybe it was like a throwback scene that Alexis called her white. I don't know. But the point is, again, for the third time, Alexis had called her white, and Jules had to politely correct her and let her know half Puerto Rican. That's what I was trying to say before. Jules is very in contact with her half Puerto Rican side. I think she views herself as a POC. I viewed her as a POC. So y'all not gonna just keep throwing her half Puerto Rican side in the trash like it means nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get both sides of it, but I think it's disrespectful not to acknowledge the fact that she's half Puerto Rican. I digress. Okay, let's move on to episode 7. And this was the episode where Stoney was having a New Pieces event. Like, that was the big event. However, prior to that, we learned a little bit more about Stoney's business and what really happened. So remember, Sherelle was saying how Stoney got a settlement and blew the money. Like, she just she just like blew it. But that wasn't really the case, because Stoney revealed that when she got the settlement money from the case that she had with 50 Cent and all that, and the revenge and all of that stuff, she took it and she started the boutique. But the problem was she overpurchased. So here is somebody who has a dream for a business but does not really understand the ins and the outs of the business, and really did not link with people that could help her. She just was like, I know it's cute. I'm gonna get me a store. It's gonna look cute, and I'm gonna just buy all the cute things and I'm gonna put it in the store. But that's not the way things work. You know, this isn't like Shein or Temu or Fashion Nova, where you could just put like a whole bunch of stuff out there and then people can choose. That online thing is massive. So you want something for the summer, you can buy something for the summer. If you want something for the winter, you can find something for the winter. And you could pretty much get this stuff year round from these websites. When you have a storefront, you can't really do that. You have to kind of lock into what's in style and what's in season, you know? And I don't think she was really doing that, because when she had the event, Sherelle invited Fancy. This is supposed to be the upscale boutique person. Said the pieces had no flow. Like, the whole viewing, the whole collection was just a bust. And I'm not gonna hold you, I had to agree, because I didn't really understand where she was going with the pieces. Like, what is this line? Is this your summer collection? Is this your spring collection? Like, what is happening right here? It's just like random pieces. So I understand that it has no flow. However, what I don't like is how Fancy approached her. This is the crazy thing for me, right? Fancy is who Fancy is. So they get a pass because they're fancy, right? It could be because, oh, you know, you're known in Miami and you have this boutique and your boutique is the it boutique and all that. Or it could just be because Fancy is who Fancy is, if you dig what I'm saying. So when Fancy's disrespectful, when Fancy's rude, it's all good. Everybody laughing, kiki, haha, why did you say it like that, right? But let one of the other girls or just anybody else say something like that to them, like, oh, what you wearing is trash, like, where did you get this from? It's ugly, I wouldn't wear none of this. If somebody else did that to them, it wouldn't be so funny. But because Fancy is who they are, personally and or business wise, we get a pass to be disrespectful, mean, and rude. I don't like that. Besides the fact that the release had no flow, the individual pieces were fine. And like I told you before, they all look like they shopping at the same wholesaler. And it's not necessarily giving high fashion 24/7. I mean, didn't Sherelle pull up at the end of the episode with a Tina Turner dress on? Okay, so it costs a lot of money. Maybe. I don't know whose dress, I don't know who made the dress and all that kind of stuff, but would I ever wear a dress like that? Nah, it's giving Tina Turner. Like I said, is it Halloween? I digress on that. I know I'm circling back, but it all looked the same. So what Stoney had on the rack and what they be wearing is the same thing to me. Tell her that it had no flow, giving her some really good marketing advice, telling her to talk about maybe like her, I guess her target audience and, you know, guiding her in that way, kind of deciding what to do with all this inventory she has, you know, helping her out for real. We know that is something wrong with the collection because the collection is not selling. Give her specifics on how she can adjust so that she can get out of this financial hole that she's in with this boutique. Anyway, I said what I said. Enough of that. Let's go ahead and wrap this up with episode 8. So nothing really happened in episode 8, in my opinion. I saw Keita link up with her mom. One thing I will say about this mom is she is hypercritical of Keita's physical appearance. And I don't know if it was the times, because I feel like my mom is kind of like that. My mom was born in 1950. And she was really like big on not gaining weight and stuff like that. Even in her older age now, pushing 75 years old, it's still something in her that deals with that. Like, I don't know if I would be receptive to my mother if she started talking about my weight or being hypercritical of my physical appearance. Let's move on. Another highlight of this episode was the volleyball game where Jules brought Ryan Garcia, who was a boxer. Everybody was like, oh, why she bring Ryan Garcia? Is that supposed to be her bodyguard? Like, she came with an entourage. I would have came with one too, because y'all stay ganging up on her. And she is like good at defending herself, and she stands on what she says and what she did. However, we all know that they're less likely to gang up on her if her peoples are with her. You feel me? And that whole episode, didn't nobody gang up on her. I got a barrier. I brought my people with them. I'm tired of y'all always having something to say. I'm tired of y'all always starting with me every time I try to just come and chill. I'm tired of y'all bringing up what happened. So if I bring my peoples with me, y'all ain't gonna say nothing. And they didn't. But anyway, I don't know. Like I said, at the end, Sherelle pulled up on a yacht with the partners, LPT Realty, blase. Thank God it's over. Okay, snooze fest. Let's not bring this back. Why were we picking on Stoney again? Never could figure it out. When we wanted to let Stoney in the group and we wanted to call a truce with Stoney, now we got to pick on Jules. And then Sherelle with the amnesia, she don't remember saying nothing. She don't think she a mean girl. She just lives in delusion. That's what the whole season was about. So anyway, that's that on that. I think from here on out, I'm not gonna review anything unless it's in syndication, meaning all the episodes aren't unraveled, because I can't keep up. All right, I'm about to move on to The Bachelor, because The Bachelor comes out once a week on Mondays and I can keep up with that. So if there's anything out there that is going on where the whole season isn't released at one time that you want me to review, or anything that you want me to talk about in pop cultures or anything, just leave it in the description box below. Tell me what shows you're watching, even if it's a movie. But I am a movie junkie, y'all. I watch so many movies. So give me some ideas in the comment section below. And I want to thank you for tuning in. And I guess I'll see you when I see you. Peace.